it's normally stories that come with that. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you just remember some good shit. Welcome to the Bottom of the Bottom podcast.
We back again, but y'all knew that because it's Wednesday, and this shit should be regular for you by now. I'm one of your hosts, Jay Walker the Third. That's my partner, there, my drinking partner, my brother, Carolina Dirt. What's going on with you, player?
Ain't nothing. It's a Humpday Happy Hour Tap In. We back at it.
Yeah, this one different, man. Look, I almost should have went to work as hot as it was.
Bruh. Man. Bruh, my shirt, draw, everything wet. Just took one step out the house. Everything wet.
One of my coworkers asked me, they was like, you put something on the grill. I said, man, life put me on the grill.
Boy, that thing was cooking. That thing was broiling.
Yeah. I was so glad. Say what?
They were saying yesterday was supposed to be the hottest day on record for the world.
I don't know, girl. I don't care about the world. I care about right here, and it was hot as a motherfucker.
Hot as a mother. Like, you know, they got that dry heat in Texas and Nevada and Arizona, but well, when you get out and you can't breathe.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I need an asthma pump for real, just from June to the end of September.
You know, I'm a big nigga. I had a wipe underneath my titty. Boy, that thing.
That's hilarious. As I feel underneath mine to make sure it ain't damp.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But y'all know what time it is, man. Look, this is the Humpday Happy Hour Tap In, man. We just kind of break your week up, man. It shouldn't have been too bad for the most part. Most of us have a 4-day work week. Some of us took advantage and maybe they didn't work Monday and Tuesday. Took the 4th, or you took the 4th, and now you off Thursday and Friday, and you back to the weekend. So it's one of them weeks. And we just glad that y'all here chilling with us. Now, you know how it is, man. We love to hear y'all chatting it up in the comment section. So, y'all, if it's something that y'all want to talk about, if we bring something up and you want to add your 2 cents, bring your 2 cents, man. That's what we about.
Indeed.
So, we definitely have a special guest in the building. We always have special guests. This is, you know, we love music. We love comedy, amongst other things. But we do have a DJ, a spin maker, if you will, a disc jockey, Mr. Tim Strong, aka DJ FX. He is out of Kentucky and is now here in the Soda City, Columbia, South Carolina. Welcome to the show, brother. No sound?
Yeah, you said you can't hear. Why?
You might have to go out and click the link again.
It always happens. Well, it never fail. We can never just have a smooth one. What up, April Showers?
April had a dope show the other day. I listened in, man. She always doing dope stuff in the Chi-Town area. Shoot him a text. Tell him to just log out and log back in.
He should be able to hear us. Yeah, log out and log back in. Yeah, he should be able to hear us.
How we got the audio messed up that quick?
Yeah, go out and then come back in.
Yeah, shut her down. There you go. Either way, y'all know what time it is, man. We gonna make it happen until he get back, and then we gonna bring y'all the show that we always bring y'all. What's been going on in y'all world, man? People say he from Kentucky, that's why.
That's fucked up.
We not geography shaming. You from where you from, cuz?
Probably some shit Tito say. I think that's him. There you go.
Hey, little do he know.
You good?
He still ain't got no volume.
It might be in your settings.
There it is. Got it.
Oh, there you go. Oh, hey, that was Cuzzo. That was Cuzzo that said that he must be he from Kentucky. Oh, Mo
Cool.
Palmer. Mo
Okay.
Palmer. Yeah. What up, Cuzzo?
Nah, man, look, DJ Effects, man, you've been around here working your craft, man. I see you got accolade after accolade. You have relationships in the business. BigBub from today, Mr. Cheeks, one of my personal favorites. Um, a connection with Easy Moe Bee, who probably has my most favoriteest Tupac album ever. Everybody say All Eyes on Me. People say Machiavelli. If you're really a Pac fan, it should be Me Against the World. Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little, just talk about that a little bit, and then we're gonna let you expound on it a little bit later. But what is that like, man? What is the when your craft begins to pay off for you and you make these connections and network with these people from the time you started to now? What does that feel like?
Right. So the time I actually started really producing was probably about maybe 10 years ago, maybe 10, 11 years ago. And that was one of the goals, is to get into the game, trying to, network with other folks, sit back and listen, be the quiet man in the room to understand how the game is actually supposed to work for you. And, it took me probably about 4 or 5 years to hone in my craft, or hone in the sound that I was actually going for. It's me and my son, by the way. So FX Soundbox Recordings is myself and my son. We produce pretty much anything that you can ask, but there's a certain sound that we use or that we go with that is a signature sound from us.
Okay.
So saying that, I got linked up with really good people, man, that plugged me in to the game. Shout out to AB Money. He's the one who actually plugged me into Easy Moe Bee because they are actually a part of a group called Riff, Rapping is Fundamental, years ago. And, him and I, meaning me and Moe Bee, DJ'd AB's wedding. We just DJ'd again in New York, and then I went to go see the Beat Battle in Charlotte, which was crazy, man. I've seen and networked with a whole bunch of them. Static Selector, man, God, it's just so many. It's so many to name. There was a lot of them out there.
Well, we're gonna get back to that. I just wanted to give people a little bit of background on you, man. Look, so we do this thing to open the show called First Call, and it's really just what it is, man. It's 10 questions. I got 5. My brother got 5. It ain't no right or wrong answer. There ain't no setups in here. It's just how you feel in the moment. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Favorite pair of shoes of all time?
Shell toe, Adidas.
They one of the most comfortable. Mm-hmm. Although my brother put me on this new Puma shit. Hey, if y'all ain't put on a pair of Pumas lately, them things is like pillows for your feet, cuz. Get right. More afraid of heights or enclosed spaces?
Heights.
Okay. I'm claustrophobic, cuz. I don't like neither one, but get me out the closet. I'll deal with the height. Favorite vehicle that you have owned or had access to in your life?
I would say the one I currently own right now, which is a 2018 Toyota 4Runner. Love it.
Okay.
Absolutely love it.
Absolutely. We go back to superhero. I watched the Avengers last night, man. If you had a superhero origin or whatever, what would your power be?
I would say I would mimic Superman. I would mimic the ability to not be hurt by something that could be thrown at me. Of course, he had a weakness of kryptonite, but something thrown at me, that would be my superpower.
I'm about to say it's way more bullets and bombs than kryptonite on the planet. So I feel you on that. My fifth and final question is always dead or alive, unrelated, not related to you. You got two people who you want to have a conversation with.
Biggie.
First day, that's the first time.
Biggie. Yeah.
We got one more. Who you and Biggie talking to?
Me and Biggie is talking to Marvin Gaye.
Woo! Is that another first time? Those two first time entries?
Or two first time entries.
I want to say somebody said Marvin Gaye, but maybe not. That's very musical. I want to be a fly on the wall in that conversation.
Yeah.
It's on you, Carolina.
All right, I'm gonna get you, sucker. You taking the windows or the stairs?
Stairs.
Damn, boy. Yeah, I guess so. It ain't no winning. It ain't no winning.
Yeah.
All right. What's more of a mystery? The silent W or the IE versus the Y in the alphabet?
Ooh. IE versus Y.
I can see that. I can see that.
Especially if you got it right.
Yeah. The last time you fell?
Yesterday.
Oh shit!
But it wasn't my fault though. It wasn't my fault. I'm not clumsy. It wasn't my fault.
We too old to be falling, cuz I keep telling you.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Your favorite place you were stationed while in the military?
Oh wow. I probably would say Germany. Germany.
Say Germany.
Germany is lit. Germany is lit.
All right. Do you drink?
I do not drink.
Okay. Oh shit. All right. I'm gonna take that one out. All right. Fuck it. Against a fifth grader, spell and be on math competition.
Math.
All right. That was first call.
That's first call.
You good? I was gonna ask you which one works while you drinking, but shit, math hard regardless.
Math is hard regardless. Like I said, I'm good at arithmetic. The rest of that shit, I'm like Cat, cuz when you start introducing letters and small numbers and shit like that, I'm out.
I used to hate the problem solving. I was like, man, fuck Johnny. Johnny be losing too much shit. You know, Johnny got 2 apples you take. Nah, Johnny. You need to stand up for yourself.
Yeah,
okay, don't let him take your apples.
That's right. Keep it basic.
So we normally start out with, some shit that go on in the world. And it's 2 crazy stories, man. I don't know if y'all heard. Out in Texas, this lady was visiting. She's not from Texas. She's visiting her significant other. She called an Uber. She get in the Uber. She paying attention to where she going. And she starts seeing, Mexico 19 miles, Mexico 10 miles. And she feels like she is being kidnapped, cuz. So she pulls out her strap and shoots the Uber driver in the head.
Ooh. Wow. I would say that's a bit extreme, but I can understand her fear. For her being a woman and she's seeing, the vehicle getting closer and closer to Mexico, I can understand the fear. Yeah.
But you already got the jump. You got the strap.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask one question?
Yeah. Yeah. I said it was a bit extreme now. I did say it was a bit extreme.
So, where was she going that was close to Mexico? Was it like way out the way? Or was it something that was like, was there a place on the way to Mexico?
I mean, everywhere is on the way to Mexico. Texas is huge.
Yeah.
It is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, where was she trying to go? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's extreme. Like, you could.
She is from out of town. apparently her boyfriend lives in a border town. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? So I don't know. I don't know all the details. Obviously, I don't know if it was a 30-minute Uber trip. I don't know exactly where the boyfriend stayed, but when it get down to the get down, she got scared and she off this man.
what they charge her with?
Mm,
Um, right now she's hoping for manslaughter. Like the family is hoping for murder. Obviously,
Yeah,
you know what
obviously.
I'm saying. The family is like he's just a good dude. He done retired. He ain't got no kids of his own. He just
oh,
help out his god kids and all. Like he ended up being a really good dude to his family and the community overall.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've been in some situations in my life, man, and I always pride myself on is being cool and calm under duress.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I've never been a woman before. I don't know what this lady's history is. Maybe she been kidnapped or held against her will. Maybe there's something that would contribute to her reasoning that the only recourse because he's driving. It's not only you are afraid, but if you shoot this man, you're gonna wreck as well.
yeah,
So it just boggled my mind. Like I feel like if you got the jump on somebody, he's not expecting you to be strapped. Period.
well, here's the thing that she failed to realize is, and I'm not for sure. I mean, I was stationed in the hood for 2 years, so I never went down towards the border, right? But I'm
Right.
almost positive there is a checkpoint to get
Always.
into Mexico. So if that was the case, she could have easily waited to the checkpoint to talk to one of the guards or something of that nature. Hey, I'm just came in here to visit and he's taking me over to Mexico. All that could have played out differently. But again, from her being from somewhere else and, hearing, stories that, females are getting kidnapped and taken over to Mexico. I get it. Like I said, I get her fear, but I think that was a bit extreme. There's multiple ways that could have played out. And like you said, she was sitting in the back seat. He's driving, and all she had to do was, point the gun to his side or whatever the case. Hey, pull over. Where we going? You got me going. Going to Mexico. But just to off
Right.
him like that, man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
like what do you tell like if your wife or daughter in that situation, like after shit is over, they call you and be like, "This the predicament." Like, do you say like how do you console them?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, if it was mine, I'm going to ask where'd you get the gun from?
I hope the
Because we
gun is
don't
clean.
have, we don't have no weapon. What I mean, like, are you traveling with the piece and not tell them? How did you get that coming from
Right.
somewhere, where you live at? So that would be the first thing. The second thing is, I would try to at least try to calm them down and try to understand the situation, try to dissect it as much as I could once I got that phone call. I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame him. I would just try to be almost like a mediator to understand, because she's going to be on 10,
Please believe me.
freaking out, and this. I would easily try to calm her down and hey, let's try to figure out what the deal is, what's going on and whatnot. So
Right. The other story I saw was us in the police, man. Um, you have a military background. I have a military background. We understand that there are rules and situations that you kind of have to abide by.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? When you are encountering the police, you have to do certain shit. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, whether you black, whether you white, whether you think they about to fuck you over, whatever the case, there's certain shit you gotta do. So there's a video in East Syracuse, New York, of these three ladies. I'm gonna assume that they were shoplifting or some shit like that. It's like 3 cops, and it looks like maybe 4 or 5 girls, and they got this lady in custody. She's in handcuffs, but she is going fucking ham. And she tries to bite this cop. And when I say he Johnny Cage, Jermaine O'Neal punched this lady in the throat, I don't know if he's trying to punch her in the face, but it landed in her throat.
He said, swallow this.
Oh man, I feel so bad that it's a woman, but you did not act like a lady.
A lot of
You
ladies these days
did
don't act
not
like
act like a lady.
So my take on situations like that is, I try to teach and tell my son is 29, he'll be 30. Actually, he's 30. Yeah, he just turned 30 last week. I tell him, don't put yourself in situations where you're going to have to abide by the rule, right? So if you're not out there stealing, you're not out there fighting and killing and shooting and robbing and all that, that's a plus, right? So that's a plus. Now I get it. I mean, the young ladies may need it, the whatever they were shoplifting, maybe they needed some money and they stealing it to sell it, whatever it is, whatever the case may be, but you got caught, right? So now you have to play the game. You have to play the game because you put yourself in that position. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate, but you have to play. You have to put that. You have to play the game. There's no other way around it. Don't wiggle out or, like you said, bite the cop or cuss them out, this, that, and the other. You kind of put yourself in that situation, and now you have to play by their rules. So it's unfortunate, man. I hate to hear things like that. Let me tell you, not to change the subject or anything, but the George Floyd situation, right? Me and AB Money and a couple of my other teammates went up to New York, and we were able to achieve the George Floyd Day in New York. So we sat down with the mayor of New York. We had a long conversation about what the deal is, and he basically created the George Floyd Day. When we were there, when our meeting was over, he created the George Floyd Day. Now I'm reflecting on that because it's sad that the man had to die in a sense on live TV by
in front of the world.
Exactly. To be really a martyr on everything that's actually happened after him. You see what I mean?
Right.
So I just hate to see, anybody in that situation. I don't care if you're black, white, Chinese, it doesn't matter. Just don't put yourself in a situation where you have to play by their rules. Because once that is the case, it's almost, I'm not saying all of them, but almost downhill from there.
It is downhill from there. Period. Like, now the one thing that I do see is I feel like this increased amount of you got a broken tail, like get out of the car shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm come on, cuz like that's a ticket. That's all it's supposed to be.
Yep.
That is all it's supposed to be. You pulled me over, you said I got a tail light out. Say again? Oh. You pulled me over, you said I got a tail light.
Whatever they were doing, if they were shoplifting or whatever. Go ahead, you good.
Okay, so if all I got is a tail light out, the amount of hostility that it takes, you already understand the state of the world. So you ultimately want to be that bad cop because you understand the state of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't understand where I haven't had myself any horrible interactions with the police. Mainly, I know I'm above 6 feet tall. I know I'm 300 plus. They not really gonna talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They already gonna be like, oh, big boy probably can handle himself. So let's go ahead and take him down now. So I don't really be with the shenanigans. I don't talk shit. I don't ask no motherfucking questions. I barely talk. And that's one of the things that we got to do better as a people. The right to remain silent gonna get you out of way more
Way
than
more.
you playing lawyer.
Yep. That's what
That's
I was gonna
fact.
say. Like that's what I got a delay. Y'all can hear me?
No, you good.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Like at a certain point, when they got caught for doing whatever they were doing, you knew you was wrong. You was just trying to move the meter. You're trying to move the meter by lying, stalling, or whatever. But the moment you inflict anything that's somewhat like violence, you are more than likely going to be in worse trouble physically and mentally and financially because of that.
Right.
So, like my brother said, keep this. Sometimes the right to remain silent is the best option. Most time, if I get pulled over from, I ain't gonna say most time, I don't get pulled over that much, but when I do, I be clear and I be short. Either I is or I ain't. I ain't about to
That's
argue.
it.
Even if I'm mad, there have been times I've been mad with the cop, and I just, and
You
not
gotta
say
swallow
nothing.
that shit.
Yeah, swallow that shit, not say nothing. And I was on my way. Of course, if it's a taillight or something, they're gonna knock the ticket down when you get there.
Yeah.
So really, out of $170, you are $80. Understand that $80 might have meant something, but to be robbing the shit and know you wrong, that's the thing. To know you wrong at that point, keep your mouth shut, man. Take it. You took that chance with the cop or with Robinson with that store. Well, take the chance, be quiet, and let that shit go.
Now I feel this comment right here.
Oh, what up, Alicia?
Everybody is not socially aware,
Well,
and people have certain mental issues. Not to like, poke at anybody. I just can't find the right words to say.
Trigger.
Social anxiety. That's what I meant to say. So if you got social anxiety and people make you nervous, and it just so happens to be a cop, that is another reason why I feel like the cops have to be more responsible and respond in a human manner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get that you clocked in and all you want to do is get home to your wife, but so does everybody else that you encounter through the day.
Yep.
Your life ain't more important than anybody else's life. And that's the problem that we have. And that's the major disconnect that we have as black people with the law.
yeah, people be poking the bear. They say poke the bear is a little analogy. I think two people do poke the bear even more now because of cameras. Granted, there's a lot of bad cops and there's a lot of decent cops, but you don't know that cop until you run into that cop.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Agreed.
don't poke the bear without knowing the cop. Because like I said, I done ran into a cop, and I ain't gonna lie, I had liquor all on my breath, and me and him sat down on the concrete and had a conversation about getting tased. He told me a story about him getting tased, and I went about my business. Now, was I wrong at that point? Yeah, because I had liquor on my breath. But he didn't say nothing. But then there was a cop. I've been to a situation where everybody's around, and a cop jump out and say, arrest everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so she was instigating, it was a female cop. She was instigating the thing because she was trying to do crowd control. But saying arrest everybody and you got 300 black people in a square block, that's not the right thing to do. But there's been instances where, like I said, you never know that cop's mind frame when they walk up and what they've been through. Like you gotta take in account for that. But like my brother said, your day might be bad, their day might be bad. But in the end, if both days are bad, they're gonna side with the cop in the court.
Yeah. Every time.
They're gonna side with that cop in the court.
Kudos to you and your team. George Floyd Day anywhere is an awesome thing. That you guys were able to politic that and have a conversation that actually went somewhere is super dope.
Appreciate it, man.
I like through the pandemic, this podcast was born out of the pandemic. It was an up and down time for a lot of people. And that shit right there almost broke me as a man to watch that fucking video. But it's a countless bunch of others that, sometimes we forget. Breonna Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Sandra Bland. It's so many names we can't even say them all, or we'll be here till tomorrow, man. But again, kudos to you for showing up for the community and for that man and his family.
Well, just to speak on it real quick, some of their family members was there in the actual office when we were sitting down talking to the mayor. So,
yeah, man, that's.
Hey, let me ask you this real quick, because it's crazy. Because our parents is the last of the civil rights. So what you did was kind of like a civil rights thing. Does your son understand like the impact of what you did?
Let me tell you, man, I had goosebumps when I left the office because the impact of how we presented it and what we did and what we got out of it was amazing, man. Like I was on cloud nine, man. Like I was floating, you know what I mean? Because not too many people, one, had the opportunity to do what we did. And when we did it and we teamed up with the people that like his uncle was there, some of his relatives was also there. His brother was there. Like you said, Sandra Bland, some of her family was there. Just to speak on it and just tell him how they really felt about what actually went on, even though it didn't happen in New York City.
Yeah.
But he really made the world stop. Like everything just completely stopped and in protest. So very, very impactful, man. Yeah, I'm very that's one of the milestones that I really didn't expect to achieve, but I'm glad that I did, and I'm glad I was a part of it.
You should do like a little mini 30, 45-minute movie on that shit. Right?
Little documentary.
Even if it don't go nowhere, it's just something for you and your son to pass down to family members. Because like I said, after our parents were born in like the 50s. Like that's the civil rights. Like after they're gone, there's nobody else to tell the real story about the civil rights.
Right. We're actually working on a documentary. And I'll get into that a little bit later on other things that I'm actually doing, as well as the music. But we are working on multiple documentaries that spin off of what we experienced in New York.
That's dope. Hey, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Big kudos. So you made the transition, I read in your bio, the transition from mixtape DJ. Like you still do your parties, you do your events, you're still available for festivals. But that transition, what is that transition from what used to be the mixtape grind to internet radio? What was that like for you?
So internet radio, man. So I was with soldiersradio.com, and they had a listening audience of 5 million people worldwide. So I was plugged in through Fort Jackson, by the way. They plugged me into soldiersradio.com, and what they did was they gave me Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning to do a mix series, and really have like some of the soldier members' families shout them out, right? Okay. So hey, my dad is Sergeant Sergeant Gray from Tacoma, Washington, and we're stationed here at Fort Jackson, and I love you so much, Dad. And then of course the music would come on, so I would do a couple of commercial breaks and whatnot. So basically the transition between mixtape DJ and the internet radio, it's almost bringing the show to a live platform. So doing a mix show and doing mixtapes, of course, you do them and then you give them I was giving mine out. I wasn't really selling them like that because that's illegal. but on the platform, man, it just really made me more conscious of how music impacts a person that could be here, could be sick, could be it dictates the feeling of a person when they're not there. So like I said, I was happy to do it, proud to do it. I did it for like probably 4 years or so, and then because of budget cuts, they actually stopped the radio. That was one of the things that they eliminated. But I was actually proud that I was able to actually give my services to soldiersradio.com, and this was while I was in the service, and then when I got out. So
that's awesome.
You gave me a dope idea. We'll talk about it after the show, but that's like I told you before, like before we started the show, like we're gonna do an episode with veterans, and we just want to have like 3 or 4 veterans come on, and we'll just talk because the veterans are lost unless it's Memorial Day, Veterans Day, any other military affiliated holiday. That's the only time you really hear them talk. But as far as the podcast talk of veterans on a show with, well, my brother's a veteran, but I'm not. Just to have that time to talk about, and we can talk about whatever they want to talk about, just to give them appreciation. We appreciate every. Like I said, I'm not no soldier. I ain't no soldier. I was a no limit soldier for a little bit. I would pee out, bounce around, no limit soldier. Shit, I was no limit soldier. But shit, I ain't even want to join ROTC. But now I appreciate all the services and all the choices that we are allowed because of the military.
For sure.
We talk that shit about law enforcement and the government and all this other shit, but when it comes down to it, that's our brother and sister that say I'm assigned for 4 years. They 3 years in and they got to ship overseas for 2 years.
Yeah,
like that. All that shit comes from them.
Yep.
So
it's a wild time, man. So my next thing is, the whole DJ thing is everything is technology, man. What's the one thing you miss from the old analog crate carrying days? And what's the one thing that you appreciate about the new technology?
Okay, so I still have my Technic 1200s. I still have needles. I still have crates of music, and I still play them. So I like. There's nothing like an analog sound. The needle hitting the record and it's coming off. I just love it. I love the feel of me mixing and scratching and doing all the tricks and whatnot on my Technic 1200s. So that's one thing I love about it. The new technology, what I love about it is there's no more crates.
Right.
Now you have your sound effects all built in one mixer, one console. You don't have to worry about another separate piece to trigger your mixes. And now the way the technology has changed out and AI has taken over, you can have instant doubles, you can have acapellas, you can have instrumentals instantly. And that's what I really love about it. It's just, you don't have to worry about, if they release a record, am I going to get the acapella for it? Or if I'm going to get the instrumental, you don't have to worry about that anymore. It's now, you can do it right there on your laptop and be done.
Yeah, so that's we talked to you about DJ Tony Gray. He's a house music DJ, man, and one of the things that he was doing was taking like super major R&B songs and mixing them to that house beat. And it's just, to me, it's all about the blending, it's all about the mixing.
Yeah.
If you can scratch, cool. And most people can't.
Yeah.
Let's just be real about it. Scratching is the art of its own. You might think you killing it, you're not. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it, but I also know what it's supposed to sound like. Blending, again, a lot of people think they can do it. Most people cannot.
Nope.
How did you hone your, is this something that you just in the house hours and hours, or is this you trial and error on the way? Book me at the next party.
Right. So I started DJing, man, when I was I think I was about 10 or 11, and my oldest brother was a DJ. So I used to sit in his room for hours and just watch him DJ blending, and he would kind of explain to me what he's doing at the time. So as I got older and started buying my own equipment, it was just what you said, man, hours and hours. And literally, I would get up in the morning and practice all day long, like all day long. I would know every set, every break, every mix and blend where I needed to do it. And I can do it without headphones. That's how much I practice.
Right.
And to this day, I don't really use headphones because I can look at I can remember the song because I'm not too versed on the current music, but I'm more of a a classic DJ. So I play all the the 90s R&B, classic old school, house music, reggae. I play top 40. I play all of it because that's basically what I've grown myself to be as dealing with Fort Jackson and doing Army balls and whatnot.
Right.
But anyhow, I would very, very rarely use my headphones because I know I can look at and read, what BPM it is, and I can listen while the song is playing and capture what the BPM needs to be. I don't use the sync button. I never use the sync button ever because what that's going to do is degrade your skill because it's almost like a sense of, to me, and it's just to me, and just all the DJs that are out there, to me, sync is more of a cheat mechanism. Hey, I can sync these two records together, press play, and be done with it. Where your skills is not being used or utilized when you do that. So that's why I never use the sync button ever. Now the key, I play like the piano by ear. So when I hear a song, I'll be like, oh wow, dang, that song will go with this, and it will come in right here at this time. And sure enough, as soon as I do the mix, perfect blend.
Right.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite track in blending? When you're blending your music, some people got their favorite song that got the best break or whatever. Like, what was your song? What up, Reezy Rock?
Huh?
No, just one of the people coming in, Reezy Rock. What up? He a rapper out of Colombia. He got some dope music.
For sure.
So back when I was DJing like high school and early in the days, it would be the Cool and Everyday People. So no, it would be Cool and first would be Cool and raw bass. So it will break down, when it breaks down, you got that breakdown, and then as soon as you hit that breakdown and that the raw bass, hit it, oh my goodness, it's over. And then you got your Eric B and your Rakims where they used a bunch of breaks. Most of the hip hop records back then used a bunch of breaks, so it was kind of easier for the DJs to catch what we needed to catch when we needed to catch it just by listening to the record. Now the mix that I like to do, one of them that everybody likes is Naughty by Nature, Feel Me Flow, and Jodeci, Get Up. Those two are in the same key, and when I blend those in, oh my goodness, it's over.
Naughty by Nature don't get enough respect, man.
Yeah,
I just got to say that just because I went through a little phase and I listened to all that shit, Ghetto Bastard, just Naughty by Nature, man. They did 3 albums and they was solid work the whole time.
Yep, they were very known for anthems and delivering a street message.
For sure.
Everything is going to be all right. That's a street message. You see what I'm saying? Uptown Anthem, street message.
That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. That one still, that's it. It's just one of them songs that, if you're a great rap artist or a great rap group, you have a timeless hit. A song that no matter where you play it, in 1993 or 2073, that shit just gonna go. Yep. And that's one of them.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
So what's one of your favorite R&B break songs?
So I would have to say Jane Child, which she was more of a pop, but her song crossed over to R&B. And that is Don't Wanna Fall in Love, right?
Don't wanna fall in love.
In
I
love.
remember that. Yeah.
That record with the Daisy Loop. It's called the Daisy Loop, but that was more of a Sugar Hill Gang break. And when oh my goodness, when I do that, it's over. It is over. I mean, I got so many of them though, man. I got a ton of R&B breaks. You know, the next Too Close with the original Curtis Blow, even though the tempo might be a little bit fast, but it's just the way you do it. The Al Green.
Let me ask you this. It's gonna be controversial. R. Kelly, with his songs and his bridges and his breaks, was he one of the most versatile artists when it comes to that?
I would have to say, if he wasn't the most, he's right up there.
He's right up there.
The man is a musical genius. And I know a lot of people, you know, because of what he's done or accused of what he's done or however you want to put it. I don't get into all of that. You know what I mean? I get into
But as a DJ.
Music.
Yeah, we just talking about you as a DJ.
Right. As a DJ, he's if he's not number one, he's right up there in like 2 or 3. Like literally.
That's what I think some of these kids, younger people, even this older people, when they make songs, they're not making songs to last, because the songs that last are the cookout songs, the wedding songs, the anniversary songs, the graduation songs. Like if your music can't mix in with a 70-year-old and a 13-year-old, then it's not gonna have long. If a DJ can't mix it in, that's forcing it in.
Yeah.
Then it's hard to have longevity and make a statement. I just feel like R. Kelly got enough songs and enough bridges and enough breaks that he can hit everybody at one party with the correct mix.
Yep. And he can.
It's one of them things, man. Like Kelly had like his claps, his snare was a different snare than everybody else's snare. You know what I'm saying? Like Teddy Riley probably began like after breakbeat. His drum patterns was probably like, you know, that's where you get your New Jack Swing from. Like
Teddy Riley. He actually created the New Jack Swing here.
Exactly. And then out of his camp, you know, years later, Timbaland comes up, and Timbaland is going stupid crazy. Like he making rock drum solo with hip hop and double tapping, and it's what are we gonna do? What's the next evolution in music? Do you feel like, or do you feel like we've done everything at this point?
I don't think we've done everything. That's one thing, because music is so universal, right? So you're gonna have your crossover record. So a lot of people say they use the term rap, and they ball everything that hip hop has in rap. So they'll say hip hop, but they really mean rap, right?
Right.
Because hip hop is actually the culture, right? So what happens is you have your subgenres. So you have your lyrical rap, and then you have your other rap. You know what I mean? Like the newer generation, they're not too lyrical. No ding to that. That's just the way they are. They're just not that lyrical. Right? But when we grew up, it was more about a message and a party, and you know, the delivery, the texture, the tone. What did he say? Did you hear what he just said about, you know, such and such, the metaphors and all that? That's what we grew up on. So it's evolving, and it's evolving in a way where new music under the same umbrella is being created, right? So, and I'm gonna give you a prime example, right? So you got your R&B, you got your blues, because you didn't have R&B back then. You had your blues, and then towards the 60s, 70s, R&B, rhythm and blues came out. So you just had blues, then you had rhythm and blues, right? So
Right.
R&B just flooded it, flooded the whole thing, the whole bandwidth of radio, TV, R&B, right? So now what's happening is what they call Southern Soul.
Yep.
Right. So that's a subgenre of R&B. It's not hip hop. It's not rap, but it's a form of R&B, but it's a Southern style genre, right? So that's what I mean by it's music is so evolving that we would never be done with music. It's always going to be something new, or somebody's going to create something that is unique. Again, Teddy Riley created New Jack Swing, right?
That was phenomenal.
Right. And then Timbaland, like you said, just using your phrase, your references, Timbaland created his own style and it went crazy. So he mixed hip hop and pop together, and then it
real
was
quick,
just crazy. Missy Elliott and all them came out. You know what I mean?
So, real quick though, that New Jack Swing seemed like it hit harder because we had another episode. We were talking to the black filmmaker in Atlanta. She has her own festival. Back then, they made tracks for the movies. Now, so it's reverse. If the movie come out, they find a track, they'll put the track on it. So I just feel like the New Jack Swing had a different push because all the low budget black movies and some of the upper ones had New Jack Swing soundtracks. So I just felt like the New Jack Swing had a different push than Timbaland and Pharrell and all them. I just felt like because their beats were on movies, TV shows.
Right.
So I just felt like that, or at Family Matters, they had Portrait and Silk and New Edition on the TV show. So I just felt like that push was different.
Right. Yeah. And again, when you get the big engine, and what I mean by that is the record labels or your deals, and they're pushing the record or the music, that's where it spawns into or expands into everybody's ear listening on how they did the snare or the kick or the bass or the like you got trap, you got drill, you see what I mean? So you got subgenres of the rap game, and that's what I'm saying, that it's always evolving. It's always literally evolving.
So when you first did it, when you first was like, this DJing thing is gonna be my who was the first person, upcoming celebrity that just said, yeah, you got it, that gave you that confidence?
I would have to say that would be first celebrity. Oh, LL.
Oh,
LL Cool J. Yeah.
That's a great cosign.
Yeah. He came I was in the Army, stationed in Fort Leonard Wood, and I did an opening act in St. Louis, and he actually had the Black Panther out there. That's when the album was out, and there was a Battles of DJs, and I actually won that Battles of DJ by blending, not even scratching. It was straight blend. And I murdered him, but anyhow, you know how it goes.
That's what's happening, man. That's a hell of a cosign.
Yeah, he co-signed for me, man. Yep.
So years later, you've honed your skills, you've made your connections, you start a network, you get into actual production. What is it about production that you love versus being a DJ?
Oh man, I love the beginning. I just the process, right? So you find you hear a melody that you hear in your head, right? So you're hearing it and you're playing it, and then all the elements become it comes to you, like what type of drum pattern you want with that certain melody. The certain bass that you want to use. It doesn't have to be an upright bass. It doesn't have to be the finger bass. It could be a 808. You know what I mean? And then the strings, and then the chords, and just the progression from the beginning to end. It intrigues me from day one to the finished product, man. I just love it. I really do. And then, you know, my son, how he got into it was he actually got in trouble. I mean, he wasn't a bad kid. It was just that he wasn't doing his homework, right? So what I did was I took everything out of his room, literally everything out of his room, but a keyboard. It taught him how to play the keyboard. To this day, he thanks me for that reason.
When you're working with your son, how do y'all make that work? Like, is he your drum beat guy, or is he your chord guy, or y'all just kind of work together in the grand scheme?
That is a very, very, very good question. Actually, nobody has ever asked that question before. So the way we work, right, is he will do the drums because he's a dope producer as far as the drums and the melody, right? So he'll play the melody, he'll find a melody, and then he'll start doing the drums to it, and then he'll send it to me, or he'll tell me, "Hey, Dad, listen to this, and tell me, you know, what do you think?" So when I hear it, it puts me in a different mood. So of course, records, when you hear it, you get a different vibe than what he got from it. But I always try to stay in his lane. Like I don't want to take it away from what he was trying to do. So yeah, he would start it out, and then I would polish it up. I would do the chords, the strings, the horns. I'll talk to him about the bass line. He'll ask me, is that key in key? Is that note in key? And I'll tell him, I say, see, you might want to go one key up or one octave up or this, that, just to see how it sounds. And then he'll do it. And then he'll be like, oh yeah, Dad, that was it. That was it. So, but yeah, he's the bass line. Sometimes I'll create it and send it to him, and it'd be vice versa. But 8 times out of 10, he's the one who actually started the record.
So how did you get in touch with Rel and take us on a little journey for the song?
Oh wow. Okay,
Welcome to the South.
10 years ago, and this is honest to God true. So 10 years ago, I was with a gentleman, our group was called Raw Wattage. So I was a DJ, he was the MC. So we were bringing the DJ MC thing back into play, and he hired Rel to sing on the single that's currently out now, which we'll talk a little bit later about that. And he did it. He did the hook and he did the bridge. And the artist, MC of the group, never finished the record. 10 years it sat on the shelf. So my business partner, Johnson, shout out to Ben Johnson, JMG Music Group. He said, I want to finish the record. He kept telling me, I want to finish the record. I said, well, you know what? Let's just go get Rel. Let him finish it. And from that point on, when we was in the studio together, it was like a match made in heaven, man. Like straight up, match made in heaven. We've been like this ever since. Ever since. He came in, he knocked it out of the ballpark, and he made it a little dirty, just a little bit. But I went back and I got into his ears. I said, hey, Rel, I said, listen, I said, I never stop an artist from voicing their creativity on the record. Never. But I asked him, I said, well, can you make me a clean version of it? Because I want to make sure that it's radio airplay. He went back in and changed the lyrics of all the parts that he was dirty at. He changed it. And from that point on, man, the rest was history, man.
I want to hear the dirty version now.
Yeah.
It
wasn't too dirty. It wasn't too dirty. Like, yeah, you know, Rel's more of a true R&B writer to the heart, man. The brother is very, very talented. You can give him a record, man, and he will have it written, full song, harmony, everything in his head by tomorrow. That's how dope he is. He is super talented, man. Super, super talented.
I wouldn't mind having him on the show. Like, I think I reached out to him. This is a long time ago when we first got started.
Yeah.
Just because, like my brother said, like, we remember some of the tracks he did back in the day. Like, he didn't blow up, but people like us remember the track. So it's just like, you know,
and he did.
Like we
he did. don't work. Like that All
Yeah.
I Need shit he did with Jay,
Yeah,
that shit was on repeat.
yeah.
And it was mainly because of the hook. Like, of course, Jay
Listen,
killed it, but that was
so
crazy.
Rel Rel is a very, very unique artist and very, very humble. When you meet him, and I'll make sure I'll make the connection, man, so y'all can have him on the show. And because now he's officially signed to FX Soundbox, so he's now my artist that we are now. I don't want to. I really don't like to say my artist. I just like to say we are team moving forward, right? So I use the acronym Together Everyone Achieves More. So it's a team effort, right? So that's what I use when people come to me and they say, "Well, hey, how's your art?" And I said, "Nah, it's a team effort, basically,
Right.
But anyhow, he's very, 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 very humble, man. And I'm gonna drop a few jewels on him, jewels on you about him. He wrote, Usher's "Here I Stand," right?
Mm.
That is Usher's very first #1 Billboard hit as an adult. Was on the #1 charts for 7 weeks, multi-platinum, right? He was on Dr. Dre's 2001 album, which is the Chronic 2, 6-time platinum. He was on there with Mary J. Blige.
Right.
If y'all don't believe me, your fans, you can Google it and you'll see 6 times. So he's an 8-time multi-platinum artist, 8 times. So he's very, very, and like I said, man, he's very humble, man. He doesn't talk about the accolades, this, that, and the other. But I'm more of a guy that you're deserving. You did it. You put your hard work in. Like you said, the song was on repeat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you want to hear that from people. You know what I mean? So yeah, very humble guy, man. Very, very humble guy.
Why the Carolinas? Like, why the push for Carolina? Like that's simple. That should form Voltron in Carolina. It should form the Transformers. It should join the Black Panthers. It should join it should join everything. Like, why make that the? I can hear why it's the single, but why make that the single?
Well, we wanted to make sure, and here's a story about that. So the beginning, where he comes in and says Carolina, okay. Well, when he did that, the last 2 minutes of the session, he said, "You know what, FX? I got something." He went back in the booth and he laid what y'all hear today is the intro. He laid that down, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" So it just ran so many ideas on bringing Carolina, especially South Carolina, to the forefront. Nobody really has made an impact the way we want to make an impact for Carolina. Of course, P.D. Pablo had Raise Up with, take the shirt off, throw it, spin around like a helicopter, but nobody has that type of impact for South Carolina. So technically the record is for the Carolinas, but we want to really bring South Carolina out. We want people to understand that, South Carolina we do have some talent out here. We've been in the industry. It's now time to recognize that.
I was about to say, like, you can do like 2 versions of that. Like, you can do the people that are technically signed or have motion, and then you could do the indie people that don't have motion and just put out 2 different versions. I think that'll be dope.
Yeah, we're actually
give people a chance.
Yeah, so we're in talks of seeing how far we can push the record. We want the main idea to stay together until we can push it as far as we can get it, and then what we're going to do is drop a little bit more jewels on you. We're in talks possibly with P.D. Pablo to do the remix for Welcome to the South, and then the way we are thinking about doing it when we go to different states is not really use just use the instrumental portion where the bass comes in, just use that, and really not use the Carolina when we're not here in Carolina, but it just all depends. Like it's still up in the air. We performed it a few times and people love that part. They actually wanted to come back in to the song. They want us to go back into the studio and add it more into the song because they love that part. But we felt that it was going to take away from what we really kind of wanted the record to do. So
I don't know, it's kind of like that Detroit versus everybody or the I'm So Brooklyn. Like, I think you let it ride for just people that's affiliated with Columbia, and then, like I say, branch out. But as far as the people, I didn't even say Columbia, but people affiliated with Carolina,
yeah,
do a casting call, do an open verse, and have them send it in, and then y'all pick the heat, give them about a month, and y'all pick the heat and pick just people, and then if you got enough majors from the Baby, Petey Pablo, dude around here named Cusco, he taking off. Like, if you got people from South Carolina doing it, and just have two different versions.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, it's all open. Like, it's all open for discussion. You know what I mean? And we don't want people to feel that once the record is out of here, you know, and it's taken off the way we want it to take off, that we're going to forget that it was because of Carolina we were able to do this. You see what I mean? So, and then even in the video, we're actually including people from different cities and different parts of Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina, to be invited to come into the video, represent where you're from. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And in fact, he says that in the record. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a fun movement that we're doing. It's a good atmosphere. And just bringing fun back into music, man, you know, because it's been a lot of the same old. I'm just gonna put it to you that way. Same old that comes out. There's no energetic movement behind it. You know what I mean? So, and we
originality.
We played in the Coliseum now. The girl Coliseum. Well, the South Carolina Coliseum.
Yeah,
we got to play like 2 times.
Yeah, I saw you in the background with it playing over the speakers. You know, Don is for stuff like that. If it represents the community and it's a positive impact on the community, you know, they got DJ Puff as their DJ. Like, I think I can see it being promoted there.
Yeah. Yep. So
I feel like there's so much talent, and again, that's kind of where the show. One of the things that we're trying to kill as far as a narrative in South Carolina. There's so many talented people in different pockets of the city and the state. And I don't know if it's people's ego. I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's. I don't know. But everybody gets to have a sound. Like DJ Paul is the sound of Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Organized noise is the sound of Georgia and Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody's doing what Ross is doing, but Florida has their own sound.
Yeah.
And it seems like South Carolina hasn't developed that yet. And I wonder if there will ever be a point where, like, people talk about Dre, like Dre's a genius. But you want to know what made Dr. Dre a genius? Is Yellow Boy and Rockwaller and all the other producers that he made famous under him.
Yep.
To develop what became Scott Storch, that Dre sound.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel? You know, I know you got what you got going on, but how do you feel, you and your son, about working and collaborating and doing things like that in the city? Other producers, other rappers.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it, man. So this is what I tell folks when they come and ask me about, you know, what do I think about their music, or what do I think about the verse, this, that, and the other. There's 4 things that I listen to when I listen to a rapper or a singer, right? So it's tone, texture, delivery, and content. I'm more from I was taught back then, these are the elements that really make a song, right? is those 4 elements. To me, my successor told me this is what you're going to look for, this is what you're going to hear. It's all up to you how you want it to sound, right? So what I don't want to hear is what I already hear on the radio. So I always encourage them. I don't knock down anybody's dream or give them any fake promises or anything. What I tell them is that you want to stand out. You want to make sure that when you're doing something, if you're going to rap, great, fantastic, but find a style that is not being mimicked all over the place. Don't do the that has nothing, that turns me immediately off. I can't do it. So I want somebody that is very unique in their own way. He or she, doesn't matter who it is. And as far as a producer goes, I've worked with some of the producers that are here. My man Airborne, he did some things for an artist that I know. Very dope producer. There's a few of them. Mooncat, he's another one that I'm working with. Very talented brother, sings and plays piano and does all that stuff live. Like he's very dope.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm open to it, man. My sound is more tuned into live bass and 808. So I combine both of them at the same time. And then I like using samples, but I also love using live instrumentation, man. If I can't play it, I'll hire somebody to play it for me.
I know that's right.
Yeah. So and prime example, Welcome to the South. My son actually did the bass of that, but I hired a guitarist and a bass player and a keyboardist to play in those elements. So now you have a feel of live instruments in there along with the sample. And of course, Rail, Rail's voice just put the icing on the cake. But to refer back to your question, man, yeah, I'm definitely open to work with anybody that wants to work. I'm not a big fan of the hate that goes on. I see it in the DJ era. I see it on the production side. Man, if you don't like what we're doing, then I don't want no parts of it. You know what I mean? I don't really have time for that. And I'm learning. Like I don't know everything. So a young producer might teach me something, you know what I mean, that I didn't know. So yeah, man, like I said, I'm open. Definitely looking to see what's out there, that will come my way. I mean, my resume speaks for itself. By the way, real quick, I got an email confirmed that the song that I did for Masta Killa for Wu-Tang, it made the album and it's going to be coming out within the next 2 to 3 months.
Man.
Yeah.
So that's super dope, man. And one of the things that you said, Carolina, he's the one that does the most networking. Like he gets, he's the one that seeks out people like yourself and other artists and comedians and just people out there. But the dude Columbia, he is a producer and he's produced for Petey Pablo. So I don't know if that's something that y'all can talk about to maybe solidify. Maybe if you hear your name coming from another angle, you know what I'm saying, y'all might be able to get that done. But that's what we here for, man. We here for the networking. We here for we live here. We love here. We it's in our blood. So anything that we can do to make and shape the state and show our, put our best foot forward, we're gonna be down with it. This has been super dope, man. I know you got so many more jewels to drop. We try to keep it around an hour. We're a little bit over that because it's been a dope show. I'm gonna give you a solo, man, and you can talk about your social media, any shows you got coming up, whatever you want to tell the people.
Okay, so if you want to follow the journey, my Instagram is FX Soundbox12, and my TikTok is the official DJ Effects. Rails Instagram is official Rail Music or official Rail, and then the other one is official Rail, which is TikTok on TikTok. So we got right now we got 3 or 4 shows coming up, man. We're going to uh, uh, Raleigh. We're going to Alabama. We're going to New York as well. So these 3 shows are coming up, and we're going to Orlando. We just teamed up with ACS, American Cancer Society, doing a huge show in Orlando, October 29th. So we got a lot of stuff coming out, man. Rail's putting together a phenomenal album. Still working on my album. Like, there's a lot of things that's going on, man. So if y'all want to follow the journey, absolutely. FX Soundbox 12 on Instagram.
Super dope, man. Super dope. We appreciate you for sharing your time with us, man. That's the most valuable thing that we have as a people, man, is our time. It
That's
ain't
right.
money, it ain't jewels, it's time. We
Yep.
don't know how long we're gonna be here, and that's the beautiful thing about music. Music allows you to live forever. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man. Yep.
So we definitely want to have you back. Carolina, what you gonna tell the people on the way back, on the way out?
Uh, I appreciate him coming on here and opening up to us and just vibing with us. You know, the most important thing is the vibe on our show, because this is very unscripted. It didn't matter where it was going, but if you got a dope vibe, a show's going to be raw and it's going to be what you want. I want to thank all the viewers for tapping in live. Like, as you see, we post their comments, we interact with their comments, and we love that. I don't know any other podcast is doing that. That's why our stuff is unscripted, because we never know what the stuff that our viewers are going to type. But I appreciate you. I appreciate the journey that you're going through, FX. I appreciate your humbleness. I appreciate your work ethic and the fact that you want to give the others what you already have, but you're willing to say, take it and evolve it. Like that. That makes a big difference. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for that. Um, Once again, you come back. I'm gonna invite you back, but
Yeah.
you don't have to wait on no invite. You can just be like, "Hey, bro, I want to get on the show. I ain't got nothing to do. I want to get on the show tonight." You can do that, but we definitely want to bring you back. Maybe bring you back with a couple other DJs that we got. But
I'd like to have him back with his son, honestly.
okay, we'll
Okay.
do
Yeah.
that.
We can make that happen. We
We
definitely
can
can
we
make it
can
happen.
make that happen. We make that happen. We make that happen around August. We'll set something up in the next couple of days, but we'll look for August. But I appreciate everything that you've done. And it's dope. It's dope. It's dope. It's different when you get people that talk and they get that knowledge, and that's what you did. You gave the knowledge about the turntables. You gave the knowledge about the people you've been in the game with. So it's like you come full circle. So I just appreciate it.
Yeah, and I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Like, this has been a really dope show. Dope, one of the dopest interviews I've actually done. One, because it's unscripted. Normally, shows are, hey, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. But I'm an open book, man. Like, if I can share some knowledge and help somebody else out, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
We people here first, man, and that's why we open the show with kind of like that icebreaker, the 10 questions. That's why we want to know how you feel about real shit. Everybody knows when you talk to artists and celebrities and things like that, they get asked the same questions over and over and over
Yeah,
again. Some questions are inevitable because that's just the way it is. But ultimately, I like to see people ask people, and then that adds to what they do.
yeah,
So you gave us a little bit of everything today, man. I'm always going to applaud black fathers and sticking with their kids and helping push them in the right direction. So again, that's another thing that we give you kudos for. But that's what we do here on the bottom of the bottle, man. It's real. It's not always, cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we gonna say the shit you be like, damn, cause you probably should have said that, but it's gone. You know what I'm saying?
They
yeah.
That's
know
why
it
we
be
do
me.
a live show. You know what I'm saying? But we thank you again for your time. Um, much blessings going forward, man. I hope everything comes to fruition that you believe in, and we're gonna be here to watch the ride.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, man. Look, this has been another episode of the bottom of the bottle. That's my brother, my co-host, my partner there. Carolina, DJ FX, man. Again, we appreciate you, and we'll catch y'all next time. Everybody, be easy on the way out.
Be easy.